Yeah, I was really nervous actually, quite apprehensive. I think I got my job in May, and then I got told that the job offer was only for July, and most of the other students were not going to be moving out to Paris till September. So I was kind of like, well, I've got 2 months more or less on my own in the city. You know, I've never lived abroad before, so it was a massive deal for me. I got there, I moved in with a French family at first, tried to settle into my job, but it was just such a change. Like, not only had I never worked in an office environment, but I'd also never worked in French before. Then I kind of started to settle in as the couple of months went on, made a friend from uni who was out there who I didn't really know that well, but we just went for drinks and hit it off. Ended up doing lots of things together, and then in September a lot more girls and guys as well came out from Newcastle. You know, you kind of just group together on the year abroad, and yeah, we had a really great time.
And why did you choose to work?
I think, well, I'd originally confirmed a couple of universities, but in the back of my mind I just kind of wanted it for the experience, for my CV. A lot of the jobs that were coming up were not things that I particularly wanted to do, but this particular job came up which really suited, well, quite literally what I want to do after uni, and for a really good publishing company, so yeah, went for it. I was quite lucky in the sense that after being there for a couple of weeks, I actually made a page on Facebook. I don't know if you remember, but it was just for year abroad people, and then they could post where they were, and people could comment like, well, I'm here. And even though it didn't get that many posts, I think it did help some people, you know, come together. And that's how I met one of my friends, the friend that I was speaking about before, who I ended up hanging out with so much. And, you know, everyone's kind of in the same boat in the sense you've got this struggle to find accommodation, you know, jobs, getting to know a new city. So if you kind of know people from your course that are going there as well, then you kind of just message each other, and everyone ended up going for drinks quite a lot, quite sociable.
I'm just going to adjust that. So. Okay, nice.
Maybe a lot for me, like home comfort's like a really nice dressing gown, and my favourite blankets and things, which in the first place I was kind of like, I don't have any more room to bring these big things, but it would have made me feel a lot more like at home, just to have those items that you use day to day that make you feel a bit more comfortable. But, you know, at the same time, I forgot a lot of things naturally, and, you know, big city, most things you can just buy out there or buy in the airport, and you kind of just make do as well, so I wouldn't panic too much about it. I think I had 6 months in Paris, and I did try to make the most of the city because there was obviously so much to do, and when you're working all week you've just got the weekend to try and squeeze in as much as you can. But I do regret not exploring more of France, because with France and Spain you've got apps like BlaBlaCar, so you can, you know, people do have ratings, but you can essentially hitch a lift with someone who's going to the same place as you. It's really cheap, and go experience a few new cities. I did that in Madrid quite a lot, but I do wish I'd done that more in France, yeah. I think a lot of the things that you're taught in the classroom, which are correct formally, are not as used as you'd think. For example, like a small example, de rien in French is like, you know, it's nothing, you're welcome. But in France, no one really uses that. It's more you say, je vous en prie. So, yeah, and also I'd say phrases you hear, find out their meaning before you start using them, because I made that mistake a few times in the office, and it was quite embarrassing. But, yeah.
And how did you readjust from your year abroad when you came back to Newcastle?
Well, I moved back, so I had 6 months in Paris till January, and then 4 months in Madrid, February to June. And then I had the summer at home. I was kind of just working, saving up money. So I think by the time the summer came to an end, I was ready for the next step then. It was obviously a drastic change, but it was different, but it was nice because it was going from, you got this exciting city that you've never been in, and then you're going back to Newcastle, which you know very well, but there are those familiar faces that you wouldn't quite have in a year abroad, which I was quite happy to be around again. I'd probably say like the diversity of places to go and eat, to go out, all the stuff that's going on. I also miss speaking French and Spanish on a daily basis, because I feel when you're successful in that and when you communicate yourself, you get a bit of a buzz. So like pretty much all day you're just getting that buzz from doing well in your language, and then it is stressful at times, but you come back to England, you're just speaking English most of the time again. It's a bit just disappointing. I'd say put yourself out there as much as possible, do things you wouldn't usually do. For example, when I was in Madrid, I was living with a friend for a while, and then she left, and we stuck together so much that it was then like, what do I do now? And I've got two options. I could just stay at home, sit in my room, or really make an effort with people I usually wouldn't. So I kind of knew one girl through a mutual friend, and she was going out for dinner with this guy from the Netherlands, and she was like, come along. Not something you'd probably usually do in university life, but you kind of just go for things, and all the things that I went for I didn't regret, and really got something out of them, getting to know different people. So yeah, put yourself out there would be my advice.
Awesome. All right, that's it. Thanks so much.
Welcome.